Every month you walk into that feed store, you buy the same bags, you pay the same prices, sometimes more, and your chickens eat through it in days. What if that trip never had to happen again? Not because you found cheaper feed, not because you ordered in bulk, because your land started producing it. Today, I am showing you three plants that grow back every single season without replanting. Three plants that between them cover protein, calcium, and greens. Everything your flock needs from spring through winter. Farmers have known this for generations. Not the farmers selling you feed, the farmers who never needed to buy it. Before we get into the plants, this is AcreWise. Every week we break down real farm systems built on real numbers. If you want practical strategies that actually cut costs and build income, subscribe right now. You will not want to miss what comes after this video. Before the plants, the numbers, because this only makes sense when you see what you are actually spending. Now here is the number that changes everything. A farmer in Oregon running the system I am about to show you spent $11 last month on supplemental feed. For 40 birds, $11. Plant number 1, Moringa. This is the plant that started it all for most farmers who found this system. And once you understand what it does, you will wonder why every chicken keeper does not have one growing right now. Moringa leaves carry 27% protein. That beats most commercial feed you can buy off the shelf. Vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium. The exact nutrients your laying hens need for strong eggshells, solid immune health, and consistent production. Put fresh moringa leaves in the feed bowl. Your chickens go for those first, before anything else. And here is what makes moringa different from almost everything else you could plant. You cut it back. It does not slow down. It speeds up. One tree. First year. 10 feet tall. Several pounds of leaves every 2 to 3 weeks through the growing season. For free from a single planting. But here is the part most people miss entirely. When the tree produces more than your flock can eat in a week, dry the leaves, grind them into powder, store it through winter. The tree goes dormant. Your stockpile does not. That is not farming harder. That is farming smarter. But moringa has one real limitation. In cold climates, it goes dormant in winter. Plant number 2 solves that problem completely. It produces in every season. It costs nothing to maintain, and it has been growing from the same roots on some farms for over 20 years. Plant number 2, Comfrey. Walk past any traditional farm that has been running for generations. You will find it growing somewhere, usually along a fence, near the barn. Ask why it is there. The answer is always the same, because it never stops. Comfrey roots grow 10 feet straight down into the soil. Most plants live in the top few inches of dirt. Comfrey goes deeper than anything else in your garden, pulling up phosphorus, potassium, calcium, and iron that nothing else can reach, and concentrates all of it in its leaves. 20 to 25% protein, the same level as expensive protein supplements people buy specifically for laying hens. Chickens eat it fresh, wilted, chopped. You cut it, they eat it. No processing, no preparation. Every 4 to 5 weeks through the growing season, cut and feed. One healthy plant gives you 4 to 5 harvests per season. 4 plants, just 4, can carry a small flock through most of the warm months with barely any commercial feed needed. And here is the part that earns Comfrey its permanent place on any serious farm. Once you plant it, you are done planting it. Comfrey patches have been documented producing from the same roots for over 20 years. Now let me be honest about one thing. Comfrey does not like being moved once it settles in. Pick your spot with intention, a fence line near the coop, the edge of a garden bed, somewhere you pass every morning. When it is right in your daily path, harvesting takes less than a minute. It fits into your routine without adding a single extra step. That is the smartest kind of farming. 2 plants down, 1 left, and plant number 3 is the one that surprises every single person who finds it. Because it does not need soil, it does not need land, it grows in water, and it doubles in size every 3 to 5 days. Plant number 3, Azala, a floating water fern. The fastest growing feed source you can produce on any property. No matter how small, 25 to 35% protein, vitamins A and B12, iron, calcium, amino acids, everything your laying hens need, growing in a barrel of water. Chickens love it. It is soft, easy to digest. They eat it the moment it hits the ground. Scoop, feed, regrow, repeat. What you take out grows back in days. 1 container, several pounds of fresh protein every week. 3 containers. That is enough to cover the protein needs of 10 birds through the entire warm season. For free. And here is the smart move. Run 3 containers, not 1. If one crashes in extreme heat, you have backup cultures ready. You never lose your entire feed source. 3 plants, each one doing something the others cannot. Moringa carries the warm season. Comfrey bridges spring and fall. Azolla fills every gap in between. Together, they produce fresh, diverse feed from the first warm day of spring to the last cold night of autumn. And Azolla keeps going even through mild winters. Now let us run the real numbers, because this is where it gets genuinely interesting. Before the system, 50 hens, $120 to $160 a month in feed. After the system, same 50 hens. Supplemental feed drops to $15 to $25 a month, sometimes less. That is over $1,000 a year saved from 3 plants that grow back every year without your help. Now, let me be honest about where most people go wrong with this system. They try to plant all 3 at once. They overwhelm themselves before anything has time to establish, and they quit before the first harvest. Do not do that. Here is the right order. Step 1. Start with Azolla this week. You need a container, water, and a starter culture. That is it. Within days, you are producing feed. Step 1. Start with Azolla this week. You need a container, water, and a starter culture. Step 2. Plant Comfrey next month. Find your permanent spot first. A fence line near the coop. The edge of a garden bed, somewhere you pass every morning without thinking about it. Find your permanent spot first. A fence line near the coop, the edge of a garden bed, somewhere you pass every morning without thinking about it. Step 3. Moringa in spring. 1 seedling, 1 sunny spot. Give it its first season to establish. By summer 2, it is producing more than your flock can eat. By summer 2, it is producing more than your flock can eat. Now, here is the question most people ask next. Which animal gets the most out of this system? Chickens benefit, absolutely. But the animal that turns this system into something extraordinary is quail. Quail eat 30% less feed than chickens per bird, which means the 3-plant system covers a far higher percentage of their total diet. 100 quail on this system. Your supplemental feed cost drops to almost nothing. Quail eat 30% less feed than chickens per bird, which means the 3-plant system covers a far higher percentage of their total diet. And because quail lay nearly 1 egg every single day, your revenue stays consistent while your costs collapse. That is the combination that builds real farm income. Let me give you a real example. A small farm in Tennessee, 80 quail, all 3 plants running. Monthly supplemental feed cost, $14. Monthly supplemental feed cost, $14. Monthly egg revenue from those 80 quail, between $400 and $500. Feed cost, $14. Net, nearly $500 from 80 birds on 3 plants. That is not theory. That is a system running right now, on land smaller than most suburban backyards. But here is the part that takes this from a good system to a great one. When you run quail alongside these 3 plants, the system starts feeding itself. Quail manure feeds the comfrey roots. Comfrey feeds the quail. Azolla grows on diluted quail manure water. Azolla feeds the quail. The quail feed the system that feeds them. The quail feed the system that feeds them. This is not about saving a few dollars on feed. This is about building a farm that does not depend on anyone selling you anything. Every feed bag you stop buying is money that stays in your pocket. Every plant that grows back on its own is one less thing the system needs from the outside world. That is real farm independence. Start small. Start this week. 1 Azolla container. That is your first move. Next week, we are going deeper. I am showing you the exact layout of a farm that runs all 3 plants alongside quail, rabbits, and black soldier fly. Every animal, every plant, every connection, drawn out, step by step. The complete closed-loop system on 1 acre. You do not want to miss it. The complete closed-loop system on 1 acre. You do not want to miss it. Drop a comment right now. Tell me, which of these 3 plants are you starting with first? Moringa, Comfrey, or Azala? I read every single one. Hit like if this changed how you think about your feed bill. Subscribe to AcreWise for weekly farm systems built on real numbers. See you next week.